Hi, welcome to NDD Connects, behind the scenes with Newport Downtown Development. I'm Felicia, the Associate Director, and here with me is Justin LaForce from our Housing Committee.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure to be here. A little background about me, I guess. I worked down at Built by Newport, lived in the area my entire life, and then within the past year, I'd say, got involved with Newport Downtown Development. What kind of, I guess, fueled that was a lot of my friends moving the area. I wanted to help out and also gain insight for myself as a prospective home buyer one day, hopefully. So I figured that this would be a good education piece for me, as well as a good way to give back to everyone. So
cool. Yeah. And then, so the Housing Committee, it kind of started off as a task force for 6 months, I think it was?
Yeah, the original run was 6 months.
Okay, and then what kind of wanted it, or what started it to keep going? Or
Yeah, so originally our focus was just housing as a whole. I mean, we had a really, I guess, top level view of what we were looking at, and then we really decided we needed to drill down onto one kind of key area where we could throw all of our eggs in that bucket kind of thing, and just focus on what's possible, what can we actually make happen, the current state of Newport, what's feasible in a more short-term look. We also didn't want to overlap with other committees because we know there's a bunch of volunteers between various branches. So we also didn't want to create that overlap and have multiple groups working on the same thing, essentially, which eventually led us to ADUs, which is our core focus right now. So I guess just a little background for those who don't know what an ADU is. It could be a lot of things. An ADU stands for auxiliary housing or auxiliary dwelling unit. But we'll just use ADU to keep it simple going forward. So this could be a lot of things, like I said. If you have a big backyard, you could have it could be a detached structure. It could be attached to the main house. It could be a garage if you renovate the garage and make an apartment out of it. But essentially all it is, it's a small, usually 600 to 800 square feet, usually one bedroom, can be two, fully fledged out apartment essentially. And usually these are used for, I'm going to use usually a lot here because again, they serve a lot of purposes. A lot of times you'll see them used for elder care, like if you have a grandparent who's ready to downsize and you need them close kind of thing. Or say someone's going to college and they want their own place but they can't quite afford it yet, so when they're back home with mom and dad, maybe they have their own little apartment in the garage. Or it could even be attached to the house, like I mentioned earlier, so it could be a walkout basement that's separated from the main house by the level. Yeah,
I didn't know that could be part of an ADU, so that was really something that I've been learning a lot in that committee, but I learned that it could be an attached thing, which is pretty cool, and I think a lot of people don't know that as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, like I said, if you have a walkout basement or some kind of natural separation in your home already, that's a great setup to get it started. So yeah, I mean, one of my favorite nicknames for them are in-law suites or cabins, that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a smaller structure, detached, attached, garage, but it has everything you need. So bathroom, kitchenette, fridge, that kind of thing.
Cool.
So that's what they are in a broad view.
In a broad view.
Like I said, the construction types and all that, we won't get into all that today.
Yeah.
But
So what made you guys kind of focus in on ADUs?
So, like I said, we were trying to think of what's a more immediate thing we can target, and ADUs were quickly becoming something we were seeing a lot of online through our research, through talking to other towns, and that sort of thing. And it also would allow you to potentially put more than one. I mean, Newport does have an aging population. That's another aspect of it. So could we, in a way, help in providing elder housing through that? There's a lot of avenues you can take with it. So that's why we felt the ADUs, I think, would be a good way to start. Yeah,
and I feel like it kind of goes into what Newport needs for housing, right? And what's the quickest and easiest way to fill that?
Yeah.
And so elder housing, and there are a lot of properties with a lot of land on it that could serve for either one or two. So.
No, absolutely. And I mean, the other key thing we're focusing on too is rent. I mean, everything's expensive. That's not a mystery to anyone, whether it's rent, mortgage, groceries. So how do you limit rent? Well, you limit size. So that's another reason why ADUs became quickly a big focus of our research.
Cool. So how is, I know that, you know, the housing committee is still, like, you know, learning and educating. I feel like every meeting we just learn a lot more. You know, everyone brings something else to the table. But how is the housing committee specifically helping, like, homeowners in the area?
Yeah, so right now like I said, we're still in the research portion of this. We are starting to kind of reach out to the community and say, hey, like, have you ever considered an ADU, or are you interested in what were the roadblocks, and would you be interested in potentially putting one on your property if it fit your needs? So that's the kind of the stage we're at. And again, this is just the information stage for us strictly. Like, we're not going to be able to tomorrow start construction. We hope so.
We hope,
But so, I mean, if from the community's aspect, I mean, for one, I hope this serves as a good information piece. I hope this finds a lot of people. But if this intrigues you, if a light bulb goes off and you're like, oh, well, grandma or grandpa is in a 3-story, 3,000 square foot house and they are ready to move out, but there's no apartments, maybe this is a good fit for someone.
Yeah.
And the other aspect too is maybe they don't want to leave that property completely, so maybe they move it into ADU and then can supplement their income through renting out their house. There's a lot of different avenues you can take with it. So what I would say is, if this is something that, after hearing this, interests you, or you have tried something like this and you've maybe hit some roadblocks, reach out, because we want to know what those roadblocks are. We want to know if you were successful, what was your experience, so we can hopefully grow and scale this out and help as many people as we can ultimately.
Yeah, and I think you said it right. Like, we're looking and learning from, like, all different avenues.
Yeah.
So if you've already built one and want to let us know how your process was, or if you're wanting to build one, or if you're wanting to move into one, or I know we're educating on all sides of even, like, how much the construction is and what contractors can do this. And you know, we've researched some where, like, they just come in and drop it in, right? Yeah,
I mean, modular is one avenue we looked at, which, like you said, is essentially, there's all kinds of different, like I said, there's a lot of types, but if we're thinking like modular, essentially it's made in a factory. Like, this factory, it's all they do. They pump out, they have an assembly line, they push them through. One section or one station will do the plumbing, one will do the framing, and then the end goal is that they can ship it, and once you have the foundation ready and the plumbing ready, you just plop it down and you're good to go. That's, like I said, one avenue, which nothing comes without limitations. I mean, the limitation there is scale. Like, you need to buy in bulk for that to be worthwhile.
Okay.
So, you know, little things like that. So for some people that might work. If they're like, well, I have a business idea where I want a 6-cabin little kind of village, that might be perfect.
That might be work,
or like an Airbnb style thing, or if you have a piece of property near a snowmobile trail, for example, and you want to rent those out, and you want to put like 6 or 8, that modular might be a great way for you to go. But if you're just doing one, not so much, because the cost to stick build is way there's no real gain there. So that's again part of the research we're doing, part of the things we're learning, getting quotes and figuring out what the real cost is of things, which is a lot more difficult than you'd expect. So and I
feel like we're here to, like, help the community.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, that's the ultimate goal. I mean, we're not seeking a profit off of this.
No.
I mean, the sole goal is to provide housing, to provide nice places for people to live, and fair rent. And that's, I think, if there is a mission statement, it's that.
It's that. So. That's great. And I'll probably have you on the show again when we learn more, and that way we can update the community, because I think it's really important to show, like, what we are doing behind the scenes and what we're learning. And I think it's great to get the information out there. And I think we've been talking about doing, like, an education series too, specifically on, like, housing. Because I know, like, a lot of people hear ADUs. I mean, you know, I didn't know it was part of a house, or it could be part of your own house. A lot of people also hear, you know, income restricted, or it's just stuff like that. And so just educating the community what it all means, I think is going to be really great. Yeah, absolutely. And I hope we get a lot of inquiries. I hope we get interest in this. And like I said, I mean, no matter your experience, if you have any with this type of project, I mean, reach out. We would love to hear how it went, how it didn't, maybe. Like, anything helps. We're all learning together, and I think
that's the key, is that we all work together to hopefully make this work. So.
Yeah, so if you want to reach out to us, housing@nddbt.org, and we'll get back to you. Or if you have questions we don't know, we'll reach out to the housing committee and they can answer it. Thanks for joining me
Yeah, absolutely.
today.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for watching NDD Connects, Behind the Scenes with Newport Downtown Development.